There is this thing that I've noticed when it comes to personal development and relationship advice is that often there are these scripts on how you can communicate, for example, what you desire or what you need in a relationship or how you feel in a relationship. And then these scripts, for example, the I statement that, oh, I feel this because of this situation, da da da. However, why is it that these scripts aren't really working? And you might say, okay, Monica, I know that scripts doesn't work because it doesn't sound authentic, right? But if I am using I statements and it seems pretty authentic, pretty honest, then why is it that it isn't working, right? And what I can tell you is that when we use I statements, for example, let's say that you're in a relationship and you want to express your feelings of upset with your partner because they did something or they didn't do something and it really hurt your feelings. What happens is that we carry this energy. Like, I feel actually very frustrated, very upset with the situation because the trash is still here, the dishes are still out, etc., etc. And what happens is that while this upset feeling, this upset kind of expression might seem authentic, might seem honest, the truth is you are still not really very honest when you are using it. Because you see, when a woman does this, what she's doing is she's trying to mold and repress her anger, really, her inner upset feelings, and tries to mold it and shape it in a way that is apparently digestible for the other person, or so the theories of the I statement says. And what happens is that you're still carrying this angry energy. It's just now it goes towards filter, right? The filter of I statement. But then the energy, the baseline is still here. So what happens is that the other person might still feel it, like, okay, something is really not right. She is very upset. And now he has to feel that, okay, I need to defend myself, or what his nervous system, his brain is saying to him. So what happens is that you wanted to find a way to say a certain thing that you can be heard and understood. But then it didn't land because the energy is still the same, but now it just wears a filter of the I statement. And what I prefer usually and what I recommend women is how can you actually be authentic? It's not to, follow another script, follow another way of talking and see if it works. Because you can try out many of them. But if the your energy that you carry is still like negative or harsh or, going at him like this, even if it's understandable why you might do that, maybe you feel a lot of frustration for a long, long time that he doesn't do what he says that he would do or take care of, or that you had to ask him many times in many different ways and it never works. So it's understandable that it can be frustrated. But what happens is that you don't need another script. And understand that scripts are like guidances. Like, I'll get there in a minute because it's like, I think that it's important to understand that first, what you need for a truly authentic interaction and communication is to be as authentic as possible. And you might ask, okay, Monica, but right now I feel angry. I cannot, go at him because that's what I feel, but it will surely destroy the interaction and make things worse. What you can do in these kind of situations is before you talk to him, pause and really tune into yourself. Like, I am really hurt by what he said, for example, or what he forgot to do, but he said that he would do. Then go from a place of curiosity, like, why do I feel really upset with it? And go deeper. Then maybe you might discover, for example, what happens with many women is that they felt that, okay, he doesn't seem to care about my feelings. He doesn't seem to care about me. And this creates a lack of safety, as if I cannot really trust him. And it also hurts because I wanted him to care for me as a partner. Now, as you got more and more in, behind the layer of hurt and upset and anger, even, there is often this vulnerability down there that is saying, what I really desire is connection, is care from my partner. This is what I really, really desire. But you know, this level of vulnerability usually don't come out because we might have felt so frustrated and disappointed with many situations, or we simply don't feel safe enough to trust that our needs would actually be taken into account. Then this layer is often hidden by our own anger, by our own mental processes of, oh, now I need to fight for what I need. Now I need to fight for myself to get myself heard. So this layer is often shadowing the true vulnerability behind it, which is I want connection. I want harmony with him. I want to be understood and cared for. So when you can tap into this vulnerability, this is where real authenticity lies. And I can tell you, once, like many years ago with an ex-partner, when we were going to the bed one night, I was waiting for him on the bed. And as I was waiting, I was starting to feel this anger, like, oh, when is he actually coming? Like, can't he see that I'm waiting for him to sleep? So inconsiderate, etc., etc. So I was actually boiling inside of me. But then something clicked. And I was like, okay, but what do I really, really desire from him in that moment? And then I got into this space where what I really wanted was cuddling, was this connection time, was this emotional connection really with him. So I went to him and I didn't say anything. I just looked at him really with my eyes and with this vulnerability that I'm carrying. That, oh, I really want you, come on. And he looked at me, he said nothing. And then he closed his laptop and simply went to the bed with me. And you see, we can say, oh, I would seem honest if I go at him and like, hey, why are you so inconsiderate? Why don't you care? Can't you see that I'm waiting for you to sleep? And then, needless to say, it would create butting heads, and he would be like, oh, what's the problem, etc. I was going there in a minute. Can't you wait? You shouldn't, like, blah 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 blah, and then nothing would happen. Like what I wanted the most wouldn't be there. But because my true authenticity lies beneath, so it lies in my true vulnerability, then when I was able to finally tap into that energy of mine, that part of mine, my heart really, then when I went to him, this is the true authentic connection. So what happens is that we think that authenticity means either going at him, telling him what we feel about, like, oh, you really never do this, you are always like this, you never take me on dates, blah, blah, blah. Or that we think that we might have to, resort to scripts like, oh, I statement, I feel upset because the situation, the trash can, etc. You have to think hard to fit what you want to express into the mold, into the structure of the I statement. But then you're still carrying this frustration energy. Then none of these ways are actually authentic, nor it would work. And like many people, it's only human nature to trigger even more defensiveness. Because if anyone is, for example, coming at me and I feel that, my defenses would be up. And I would be like, hey, why are you like this? It's not that serious. Or, oh, I didn't mean to do this to you, and etc., etc. And people often do this not because they really don't care, but because understand that many people, they grew up in a childhood where being wrong often meant that they would be punished. So they naturally and automatically would feel this need to defend themselves when they don't feel safe. So when you are in your true vulnerability, and you're coming with this openness, this energy of desiring connection, of desiring to be together, and it's like bare open and vulnerable, and it's not harsh. It usually people are more receptive really to this kind of energy. They feel more empathetic. They feel more like humans are mirroring animals. So when we feel a certain emotion, we tend to feel similarly. Like, for example, when you look at happy photos, you would feel happy. If you look at the baby photos, you feel these endearing feelings. And if you see a photo of war, you feel this fear inside of you as well. So when we see a person that is like, oh, I really want to connect with you, I miss spending time together, let's get to do something together, it will be fun, then the other person will automatically be more open to it. But of course, sometimes it might still not work. Why? Because sometimes either the person has like very deep traumas from childhood or past relationships that they are too used to needing to defend themselves. So now any situation like, oh, can we talk about something? They are already like their defenses and stress and worries up. Like, oh my God, what is happening? Did I do something wrong? Or did I not do something? Or if, for example, you are in a long-term relationship and you are already often arguing, often not being able to understand each other, then your brains are already wired to respond to each other in a certain way. So this is why it might be hard to change the pattern, because oftentimes that when you are too used to fight with each other, then you are already, for example, he might already feel that, oh, she wants to talk about something. Is it something wrong again? What is it again? I better remember the situation and come up with explanations again. And then the woman might be, oh, here it goes again. I need to talk to him again. And he probably will not understand it again, and I will explain everything again. So before anyone opens their mouth, there will already be these unspoken energies between each other that you are just triggering each other. So this is why just talking about things or getting scripts are often only making things worse. So if you want to really understand how you can break free from this pattern, if you have chronic fights or misunderstandings, or you cannot really seem to understand and connect with each other, then I have this program, Relationship Rewired, the 6-week connection reset, where I actually share how we can change this dynamic by fixing the foundations of the relationship so that you actually reprogram your brains to respond to each other in a different way. And I have learned this a little bit too late, because before I was in this 14 years relationship, and in which 7 of them were married. But when our child was born, things got really much harder And we were really not understanding each other, our needs were not being met, and we were often arguing about many things in our daily lives. So at some point, we went to two different marriage counselors, really, and countless sessions, really. And like after hundreds of euros spent, we couldn't really solve these very common issues that many couples they have. And eventually, it was only after my divorce and in my next relationships, and also because of my really deep research, and then also going to awareness facilitator school for 2 years, learning about human psychology, learning about relationships, and also going through another relationships myself, that I finally learned and understood how to fix this really simple, well, not so simple problem, but it's actually very simple to solve. So that's why I created the 6-week program, so that I can help more women to fix it in simple ways. Like what can you do in your day-to-day life that will slowly, well, not too slow because it's 6 weeks, and actually subtly and not so subtly to fix this pattern and rewire it for more emotional connection, emotional safety, and attraction, polarity, and intimacy. So, my name is Monica, and I'm the teacher of Blooming Feminine Academy. And if this really resonates and you want to know more, you can check out really the 6-week program. And if you really want to go even deeper about the communication dynamics between men and women, the masculine and feminine, and how you can communicate your desires, how you can communicate your needs, and really understand where does the masculine comes from and where does the feminine comes from, and how you can actually meet together in an authentic way. Check out my Art of Feminine Communication and Influence course, where I really dig deep into it.